Hello, my name is Clive Mayhew and I'm proud to be an associate of the Cruise Lecturers Association. For over 25 years I've given talks on a wide range of subjects informed by both professional experience and personal interests. I've presented talks in many wonderful places, including the Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew in London, the magnificent surroundings of Castle Howard in Yorkshire, and venues in Europe, Hong Kong and the United States, where I visited as a Winston Churchill Travelling Fellow. I've now drawn from the most popular and well received of those presentations to develop a range of richly illustrated talks specifically designed to interest, inform and in particular entertain your cruise guests. The talks I have prepared are in three broad subject areas. The first relates to horticulture, gardening and in particular my passion for trees. The second concerns the life-saving work of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the RNLI, and my personal experience as an operational member of that organisation. And lastly, I talk about the work of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission and the role it continues to play maintaining war cemeteries and memorials in over 150 countries around the world. I've worked for over 30 years in gardening and in horticulture, in private gardens, on grand estates and for organisations such as English Heritage and the National Trust. I've called my first talk in this area Designing the Perfect Garden, and believe me, it's not as complicated or as expensive as many would have you believe. In this talk I share some simple design tips which your guests can take home and use to create their very own perfect garden. My second talk is called The Great Trees of Britain, although the title and content can be changed to suit any destination or itinerary. In this talk we'll look at some of the biggest, oldest and most beautiful trees that Britain, or anywhere else for that matter, has to offer. My final talk in this section is called Gardens for Princes and People, and we look at some of the most beautiful gardens from Britain, Europe and around the world to illustrate this 5,000-year-old story. For 15 years I've been an operational volunteer with the RNLI. My present role with the Hastings lifeboat includes driving a 19-ton semi-submersible launching tractor. This has inspired me to develop a talk called Launch the Lifeboat. Launching and recovering a lifeboat is often the most hazardous part of any rescue. Trying to get a boat through breaking surf can be extremely dangerous for both crew and launchers. This talk looks at how the RNLI launches its lifeboats, at what is supposed to happen and how occasionally it doesn't quite go to plan. My second talk is entitled The RNLI 190 Years of Saving Lives. This talk takes a selection of the 233 lifeboat stations around the coast of Britain and Ireland, and with historic photographs and some hair-raising footage, tells the story of heroic lifeboat volunteers who for generations have taken to their boats for one reason only: to save lives at sea. I can present this talk either as a general appreciation of the RNLI or in a way that is more focused to a specific itinerary or even an individual port of call. My last subject area combines a personal interest in history with a professional dimension when I was asked to advise on trees for the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. Founded in 1917, the Commission engaged the finest architects of their generation to design outstanding memorials and extraordinary cemeteries in which the war dead were laid to rest. These sombre burial grounds were then filled with flowers and plants designed to remind visitors of a country garden back home. The Commission's work continues in the same spirit to this very day in order to ensure that the 1.7 million people who died in the two world wars will never be forgotten. I've called my talk Their Name Liveth For Evermore, and it looks at some of the most remarkable monuments and moving cemeteries in the Commission's care. It's a talk that can take us to any one of the 153 countries in which the Commission operates, in Europe, Asia and even Australasia. It can be presented as a general appreciation of the Commission's work, or are more focused on memorials and cemeteries linked to specific destinations? Well, those are my talks, and I hope I've been able to demonstrate to you some of the knowledge, the spirit and infectious passion that I can bring to their delivery. So now I'd just like to say thank you very much for listening to me today, and I look forward to the prospect of being able to entertain your cruise guests in the near future. Thank you.